You know what time it is, people? It's about to be that time. It is time for enlightenment. 1111. Hey everybody, we are back with chapter 1111. 1111. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. This is what is considered to be an angel number, a source of enlightenment in many cultures. We have been talking about this chapter for a long time. It's a chapter that should bring us good fortune, although it does come with a 3-week break. So, we're going to take our time. We're going to enjoy this. Last week was all about introducing us to the demons of this world. The Straw Hats do classify themselves as demons of their own kind, but given that they're going up against these demons and, we were introduced to them, is this chapter going to be about reaffirming the angels of this world, the protectors? So that's what I'd like to see. Is it going to hype up the Straw Hats? Is it going to hype up allies of the Straw Hats? We know that Dory and Brogy just came in, so I'm so excited to get into everything that this chapter has to offer, and I'm expecting Oda to deliver, as usual. But with as number conscious as he is to begin with, yeah, there's going to be something here. All right. So I know that we have a color spread that we're going to deal with. So we're going to get into that. Okay. Page 1. All right. We've got a Fishman Island-esque color spread here with Kuma and Bonnie there. And Bonnie is feeling comfortable enough to be in her little girl form. Vegapunk is there too. Interesting. He's also in some sort of contraption that could be considered, if he died, that could be the way he continues on, is his consciousness in that. Because that's what I'd like to see for that character, is that he does die, but his consciousness lives on with the Straw Hats in some sort of machinery, and that is that works. Frankie's got okay. Like that. I like Robin's fit. Purple's a nice touch. Strange seeing Kuma in something different, but those are kind of his original colors also that the anime did not adapt. Oda always intended Kuma to be in an orange sort of thing. Looking at Luffy's shirt, trying to wonder if that has any sort of relevance to anything here. Nami's got a squid on her shirt. This is just a really fun color spread. I really like this one. This is definitely one of my favorites in a while. The coloring on it is it's great. It's great. Outstanding work, Oda. And Brooke's blue hat. I like it. All right, moving on. Okay. We are starting off the chapter immediately with Saint Marcus Mars We had said last week that it seemed like he was going to attack the Sunny group. So let's see what happens here, and if Sanji will get involved. We talked about all about the Itsumade lore, and I went deeper in the analysis video explaining everything here. See if anything from that comes through. Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's broken through the shield, but instead of going straight for the Sunny group, it seems that Jinbe has caught him. Okay, alright. What's gonna happen here? Next page. Okay, so Jinbe has noticed Mars. Ugh, and he is shooketh. Let's see. Okay, Jinbe has finally found Zoro. Was it not a KO on Lucci? Lucci is looking messed up. Like, this is... okay. Oh, wow. He is not down. He is not down. Do we have to 2v1 Lucci? This is like really gassing Lucci up. All right, so then Sanji is in the comms. He's trying to get them out of there. Lucci going on the offensive here. Next page. Oh yeah, it's also good that we're like dealing with Zoro here because 11/11's his birthday. So like this should be very Zoro focused as well. Okay. Alright, so Jinbe is grabbing Zoro and forcing him out of the fight. Oh, is Jinbe gonna get a hit in on Lucci? Okay. Oh my god. The internet is probably running wild with this. The fact that Zoro fought this man for 6 months, and then Jinbe does one hit and forces him out of out of his awakening into his human form. I wonder if Lucci's going to like keep those scars. That's kind of interesting. And I wonder if this is if the scars are in the shape of any sort of Buddhist symbol. Because that would be like an interesting tie to Zoro, since all of his attacks are based in Buddhism, and 11/11 is also, you know, about enlightenment. Next page. Okay, so Mars is having a conversation with Lucci, and Lucci is scared. What's going to happen here? They want to find York? So maybe they think that York will be able to like tell them where they need to go. They're definitely... I don't think they're going to hold up their end of the bargain with York at all. Okay, Lucci's telling Mars where to go. Oh, he really knows everything. Okay. He's putting respect on Jinbe's name. Putting his epithet in there and all that. I love how Lucci, like, immediately understands what's going on. Like, he has probably never seen Mars in this form, but it's like, hey, buddy, like this is it. You know, they got this many agents. They got this. They're over here. They're gonna do this. Wow. All right, next page. Lucci's worried about Kaku. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Mars is... Oh, he is talking heavy. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. It's interesting to see that Lucci actually cares for Kaku. And Mars does not care about any of them. Alright. Mars might be my favorite Gorosei. I mean, just by name alone. Okay. We're on the next page. We're back to Luffy, Dory and Brogy. Yeah. Gick. Alright. Now, this is one thing that I said, that in this chapter, it would also be in line with the numbers if this is where Luffy learns about his fruit and that he is the sun god. So, and I said that it's probably Dory and Brogy, since they're from Elbaf, that will be the ones to download this information to Luffy, and I think that that's what's happening here. I also said Luffy wouldn't care, and he does not. Mercury does not look pleased about the fact that giants are here. He looks kind of scared. Wow. Elbaf's got stuff like this? Okay. When did they see Sanji? I don't remember that. I mean, obviously they saw Frankie and all that. That would have been cool to see. Next page. Oh, okay, we're getting a little bit of a flashback panel here. Gotcha. Classic Oda. Alright. That's cool, though. That's cool. Okay, we're getting a map. You talk about classic Oda. I love this. He's laying out the end of the arc here. All right, so we know where Nami and Usopp are. We know where Luffy, Dory, and Brogy are. The goal is the giant warrior pirate ship. Sanji and Vegapunk are steadily approaching that ship, so Sanji is not going to get involved in this Mars business because he is down on the lower level. Sanji is approaching Bonnie's group. So is Sanji going to run into Ethan then? Who is going to protect Nami and Usopp? I'm a little worried about them now. Unless Sanji flies up. I don't know. All right, it might as well. Let's read and let Oda tell us. Right. We'll save all of the theorizing for the discussion. Okay. Dory is like, he's got a conch here. Or is he drinking something? I don't know. It sounds like he might be calling for backup. Next page. No, it is like a horn. Okay, cool. So they've signaled the others. Okay, so that was the thing. It was like if he found Luffy, then he had to hit the horn. All right. All right. So they feel like it's mission accomplished there. You still got Jupiter down in the back. Shahalud. He is not reformed yet, but it's only a matter of time. Okay, next page, the other side of the spread here. Okay, Warcury is on the offensive. He is going to attack. Ooh, will it be Dorian Brogy that echo Odin and cut this beast in half? Because this is like, how many of them are they going to cut in half? Like, are we gassing up Dorian Brogy to the to the levels that I hope we are? All right, let's see. Okay, no, they're on a defensive angle here. Looks like he's got like this booming roar. I also love the way that Oda like drew the mouth of Warcury because it looks like this vortex. Okay, it is. Wow. Yeah, that thing is booming. It is like busting up the trees and the buildings. Okay. Next page. Wait, what? What is happening to Luffy? His eyes are popping out. The hat is going. His sandals are off. It looks like, does Warcury have some sort of way to knock Luffy out of Gear 5? Like, is it some sort of, like, yeah, it's like a hockey blast that reduces somebody else's hockey? It's probably just some gag. Oda's showing us how massive this is from outside the island, still refusing to gas up any of the vice admirals and continuing to show us some fodder marines that are passing out from the hockey. Okay, that's a massive, massive hockey. Okay. All right, looks like Luffy's okay. This is... Okay, confirmed that was a Conqueror's Blast, or at least that's what it seems. Okay. All right, the Giants are about to do something. All right. They got their shields up. They just blocked this attack from Warcury here. It almost looks like his tusks are swords now? Okay. I mean, was that always the case, or no? I think he changed them. I mean, that just looks like the way that Oda would do swords. Okay. Gotta look up what this attack means in Viking mythology, Norse mythology. Next page. Yeah. Dorian, you don't care about no legend. That's their boy. They go way back, which is not way back for them, but yeah. Okay, they just knocked Workery back. That's excellent. That's excellent. Okay. People laughed when I put Dory and Brogy on my top 50. And I put them in the top 20. People were like, no, that's not, yep, no. This is it. This is exactly it. These two are boxing the Gorosei. Stop. Oda was always going to gas up the Giants. He made this story because of Viking mythology. These are top tiers to Oda. This is the pinnacle of what he wants to show us. This is the pinnacle. We're here. We made it. It's about to get spicy. Next page. Okay. Okay, so Saturn is on the offensive now. I'm gonna shoot some venom at them. Oh, looks like Luffy's gonna block it with a tree? What kind of Looney Tunes business is this? Is he doing like a thing where like he's treating the... Is he treating the palm tree like corn on the cob, and he's sending the little bits of the tree to block this attack? Because that is very inventive on Oda's part here. I think that's really what's happening. That's the way I'm interpreting this. Next page. This is a full chapter. I love that. Oh no. He turned the tree into a bat, pulled paint out of nowhere, and put his number on it. Gomu. Oh, wait. We're going... Okay, well, it wasn't the corn on the cob bit that I thought it was, but I mean, this is Looney Tunes. This is Looney Tunes right here.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Here we go again.
Batter up. This is all happening in, like, a split second. Oda is just giving toy companies more opportunities here. They're definitely going to make this Luffy holding the bat with the 56 hat. All right. He swings and it's gone. All right. Oh, he's swinging it back at them. Okay. I like that. Next page. That was like a nuke? What? He
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay. That looks like the distraction that they were looking for. Okay, so that didn't do anything, but it was still impressive, and it looks like Jupiter is back, because we can see him, you know, the way the sandworm looked there. So he is back in the fight. We did our little gag. Now it's time for the the danger to return. Next page, which will probably be the last page. Yeah, they're discussing how these guys, refuse to die. They're just like gleefully running together away. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. I want to see what's happening to Nami's group. Are they implying that Zoro and Jinbe are actually going to go to the Sunny? Who just pulled up? Bonnie has noticed some people. Oh, okay. So we got the, I was just talking about how, like, Oda has forgotten about the Vice Admirals. And then Oda was like, I got you, fam. No, this is good, because this is exactly the type of fights that, like, these characters should be having. So, let's see what, Red King Guillotine, aka Skunkman, and I forgot the name of the otter guy already, but chat, you'll remind me. I thought that was it, but no, we have one more page. Okay. I feel like this is the post-credit scene. Mars has found York.
Savage.
York continues to be a terrible character. Then we're back to Kizaru. This man is lying through his teeth.
You lying? Why you always lying?
I don't believe Kizaru for 1 second. Oh boy. All right. That's how you this is how you end us off on a 3-week break, Oda. The ancient robot has emerged. Okay. Okay. What is Oda cooking? What's this man cooking? Okay. Okay. Let's talk about this. Like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Hit buttons. Hit buttons. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Who's feeling enlightened? Yeah, we had talked about last week that 1111 is an angel number. Is a number representative of a spiritual awakening. And we have a literal awakening at the end of this chapter, which is the ancient robot. Um, so as I was looking a little more into everything, and I was trying to figure out, like what could be representative of enlightenment and things of that nature, there's actually several key elements here that kind of go back to different elements of Buddhism, Hinduism. We can take it even further there. Yeah, I mean, this chapter's crazy. We'll get into all of the specifics of all of that as we get going here, but I'm just like, still trying to just get my head straight on how everything is just amping up. This is exactly the level of tension that I've been waiting for more than anything. So it's happening. Jinbe grabbing Zoro and trying to get out of there. That's the kind of stuff that says, hey, what we're dealing with right now, this is different. This is different. In the Discord, Vern sent me the cover page for Shonen Jump. Everybody's got their 1492 drip on here. Of course I like Sanji's the most. Those are my favorite colors there. So that's the jacket I would want. But I like it. Dig it. I'm here for it. Let's see. So, did you guys know that a conch is a Buddhist symbol of enlightenment? Because it's true. So when Dory is blowing on the conch, the shell, he is actually sending a message to all of the troops that either, there's a number of different ways to interpret it. But let's see here. I actually wrote it down in some notes here. Like, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of different things about conch shells, but specifically when we're trying to like tie things into this idea of enlightenment and math piece and the numbers here, like it's very convenient that something like so tied to Buddhism, and not only that, but it's like Zoro is tied to it, right? Like most of his attacks, everything with Asura, like all of that stuff ties back to Buddhism, Hinduism, and even Zoroastrianism, right? Zoroastrianism. So there's a lot of there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, but let's see here. Yeah, so the conch actually is considered to make the sacred Om sound, like like the sound of enlightenment. Om, like that's the sound that Buddhists believe come from a conch shell. So on the number that is tied to enlightenment, Dory and Brogy are doing the sacred sound of enlightenment. Symbols of purity, and they also symbolize a spiritual awakening. Like that's literally what it is when you look it up. So Oda knows what he's doing. There's a lot of like really interesting stuff going on in the first half of the chapter when you take a look at all this stuff with Mars and Lucci, and it's like that's when the tension is at its highest. And then of course Oda has to like bring in some bathos and bathos and like kind of goof it up a little bit with Luffy. And I didn't notice it on the first read through, but like Luffy putting his scars back on, like that, I completely missed that when I was reading.
You loyal.
The Zvalan, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it sounds right, is legitimately is literally a sun shield. It's the shield of the sun. So here are two Norse Vikings blocking with a shield that they are calling Zvalan, which is a sun shield. And what are they doing? They are saving the sun god. So it's that one's a little on the nose, but it's still there. That's what we've got going on there.
Savage.
Take a look at some super chats and then we'll get into everything here. Terrible TJ super appreciate you, and said Oda had to have been referencing Funk Freed with Workery's tusks. With the way that they turned into blades, yeah, I'm with you on that. I can totally see that. TJ thinks that it was referencing Mr. 5 with Saturn's explosive venom, like the boom boogers, and Mr. 4 with the bat bit. Well, I think that there's actually there's a couple of baseball references in those early parts of the story. What's the other one? Because it really seemed like Oda was kind of like doubling down and hammering the baseball bits during that part of the story. But you also have to take into consideration that baseball is like, it's huge in Japan. It's huge. It's like well, when I was there in 2016, I saw how like the just giant stadium and everything there. So it's very possible. I mean, like if all things are coming from this stuff, it just feels right. Alejandro Salas, member for 10 months, said Luffy took Mihawk's black paint out of his closet. It's so crazy. It's almost as if Oda is trying to reference that in a way. Shout out to Yvette Noemi for joining.
Together we're stronger.
Stronger together.
Together we're stronger.
Moon Gem, VA for fun. Super had said, we have been looking at the elders wrong. They are demons and do have devil fruits. For example, the Gyuki has the human fruit mythical model Saturn. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I do believe that they are demons. I do not believe that they have devil fruits. And that has been my my take for a little bit. I remember I was looking at the Wikipedia for like the Gorosei, and it said that the Wikipedia was basically saying that they absolutely have Zoan devil fruits, and it's like, that has not been confirmed. That has not been confirmed, Wikipedia. We actually do not know that. All we have seen is that they had Oda boxes that put their yokai names in. There is no confirmation here, but it's still a situation where, and I believe I said this in the last analysis, if there are mythological devil fruits, there had to have been the mythological creatures that the devil fruits were based on. A phoenix, the nine-tailed fox, Nika, right? So the devil fruits have to be drawing from something. But what the Gorosei are is likely what these creatures are. They are immortal because they're they're in a different league. They're not human. They are literally just yokai. So that's how we escalate, elevate, and just get ourselves ready for something different for the end game of the story. If I put those emotes in the chat, I see it. Legendary Boss Hunter, member for 9 months, said, think we'll ever see a return to Chainsaw Man? I'd like to. Maybe I might go back to it on Twitch, because it was just really ruining the algorithm. I thought it was something that would help to kind of diversify the channel, and YouTube was just like, whoa, hey man, only One Piece. What you doing? You can't talk about other things. And I'm like, but I have other interests. And YouTube was like, we don't care. We don't care.
You loyal.
But I did recently start Jujutsu Kaisen, which a lot of people wanted me to, and I was just kind of doing that on my own time. And I actually finished season 1 last night, and I kind of plowed through it, all of season 1 over the course of I don't know, it might have been a week or a little bit over a week. I tried it, I think, when it started, and it didn't grab me for whatever reason, whatever headspace I was in. Maybe I wasn't feeling it. And then, I don't know, I was like, let me give this another shot. And then I started really vibing with it. So now I have the movie to watch, and then all of season 2. I thought there was more. I really thought there was more. And then I was on Crunchyroll, and I was just like, wait, I only have the movie and 24 episodes left. So I don't know. That's something,
Savage.
that I might put a poll up on the channel to see if people are interested in that, because I could do that on Twitch too. There's different content options for the 3-week break. So it's like, I'm on a Jujutsu Kaisen kick right now. I do want to get back to Chainsaw Man, but I might want to run through the movie and season 2 before getting back to Chainsaw Man. V Peak Fiction, member for 31 months, said, page 6, funny how Lucci thought Dove hit his final form. Let me see page 6. Speaking of doves, where is Hattori? We haven't seen him in a really long time. Where is he? I'm sorry, VP. I don't know what
Savage.
who you're referring to with Dove. Are you saying that Mars is the dove there? But I mean, he got knocked out of his form, and I don't know if that's from Zoro or from the smokescreen thing that Jinbe did. I don't know. Abdullah super chatted, appreciate you, and said, what if the energy source of the robot is the key to encounter for the Elder's powers? Luffy will use it to best them on the last arc. Not now, though. Yeah, I think it's too early to finish off the Gorosei completely. We're not beating them here. But I think the power source like it's obviously Luffy related and everything, but I wonder if the power source is, you know, really going to be tied to the tomate pills and all of that. Like this idea that the previous Nika or Joy Boy or the user of this fruit was able to like dish out and share their power. So like we may be in the final fights of One Piece and like everybody is white. You know, everybody is just like got Gear 5 awakening hair and all this kind of stuff, and they're looking like Hody and his Fishman Pirates, and whatever that is, maybe that's what the robot is also powered by. I don't know. I mean, it's all really wacky, and you know, I still believe that belief and some sort of intangible thing is part of it. Could also be the rhythm, right? Because that was something that Zunisha was reacting to when Joy Boy was awoken. First woke up was because they heard the drums of liberation, right? And they knew from the heartbeat that Joy Boy had returned. Is the robot sensing that as well? And that Joy Boy's heartbeat and the rhythm of that is like kind of powering him up. That's probably something more likely there. Guardian Trees supered and said Luffy and Devil Fruits get their powers from dreams. Emu and the others get theirs from nightmares. I think there's a lot there to say. Yeah. Guardian said missing Chopper, Robin, and Stussy this chapter. Yeah, we'll probably see them in the next one. They may get involved in this Vice Admiral stuff, but let's see. Yeah, you know, there was something that I was thinking about recently, and it was like a spark from a comment on the recent video. Someone said something about Emu, and then I like kind of took whatever they said, and I was like, wait, close, but now I'm thinking that because it's what Sama, right? Not necessarily Emu Sama, so is I am short for imagination. And then it's like, what we're going to end up getting at the end of the story is actually another mirror match. So it's like, Katakuri was a mirror match for what Luffy believed the Gomu Gomu no Mi was. But fighting will be a mirror match of imagination versus imagination, and it'll be this sort of dream versus nightmare thing where is actually the dark version of that.
Savage.
Vernon Co. Member for 18 months said, bummer of a break, but glad for Oda's health, to be honest. Of course. Hey, let the man take the time he needs. We'll be here to continue dissecting and breaking it apart each week anyway. Old Green Knees supered and said, did we figure out who Lucci was talking to on that Dendemushi? It seems like Oda kept him around for some scheme. Sorry, I'm late to the stream, Cap. Hey, everybody's always on time. Which Dendemushi? From a previous chapter? Because I feel like I've already forgotten that moment. Was this when he revealed that he switched back or something? Yeah, he was on our side, then he was against us, then on our side, then against us. I feel like I'm vaguely remember something about that, but I don't know. If anything, that's a good thing for me not to remember, and then I get surprised when something happens.
Savage.
Vern said, "Welcome to the Jujutsu Familia, Randy." Yeah, I don't know. It's dope. The Nami is my goat. That man stands on business, and I appreciate it. The Final Storm super chatted and said, "Do you think the flames from the Gorosei's body is a non-eternal flame, parallel to Nika's eternal flame that powers the Ancient Kingdom's tech?" I mean, I think that that's hard to say, because if they're immortal, you would want their eternal flame to be eternal. But I like the thinking that you're getting at, because it proposes a weakness, you know, something that Luffy could exploit. But we'll see. I don't know. I still, whether it's corny or not, I still think we're going to get to a scenario where it's going to be everybody in the world, you know, kind of like believing in Luffy enough to shatter through whatever like shell they have. So it's just the entire world needs to stop fearing the government. And then without them being powered by that fear and that control, Luffy's able to, you know, just break through. Hatchery flies in while Lucci's on the ground? Really?
Savage.
I didn't see that, Luke. Lucci's on the ground. I'm looking for him. I'm still not seeing him. I'm sure he's around. I'm not too worried about him. But I don't see him. Emil Diaz says, page 9, Hatchery versus Mars. Page 9. I guess you mean 8. Oh, wait a second. There he is. I didn't see him against the tree. And then there's even a thing that says flap, flap, flap. Okay, so Hattori exists. He's there. He's eyeing down Mars. All right, I see him. We're good. We're good. Everybody stand down. Everybody rest. We found him. Found him. Let's see. Hattori made Mars fly away. Alejandro Salas supered and said, Admiral level Rob Gucci out here tanking Zolo and Jinbe attacks and still doing his spy job. Scene Mark is not going to save Kaku. Saint Marcus is not going to save Kaku. Lucci will. I mean, hey, we could see that. The cool thing about that is I don't really feel like I've ever seen in the story Lucci show that he actually cared about anybody. So that's cool. So I'm excited to, eventually see what happens there. But is the implication that Zoro and Jinbe have to get up top to where the Sunny is? Because if that's the case, then Zoro might end up having an altercation with Mars. Now, I still think that Sanji is going to be Mars' opponent, But there's an interesting element to that is the symbol for Zoroastrianism is a wings, and then out of the wings is a man with a very long beard. So basically, the symbol for Zoroastrianism is Marcus Mars. Now, I still feel like there's way more evidence for Sanji to fight him, and I also believe that Zoro's final opponent is Ethan Barron. But that's just an interesting thing. Like, while I was going down this Asura rabbit hole, I just noticed that. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Noted. Brandon King said, theory. We've all seen the former warlords this arc except Doflamingo. So, theory, the arc will end with Dofi escaping, paralleling Punk Hazard and Aokiji. Potentially. It's more about, I think we need Impel Down 2.0, and I don't think it needs to, I don't think it can just be Doflamingo escaping. I think there needs to be like a full scale attack on Impel Down, not by the Straw Hats, but by a different faction, and also not by the Blackbeard Pirates, because that would be retreading everything. That's why I want it to be like the Grand Fleet or something, or Marco gets there. But Doflamingo needs to be like involved in this final war. So, yeah. Daniel Castetter said, Yamato versus Devon. Thoughts? Two mythical dogfords. It's interesting, but that's Nami's fight. That's Nami's fight all day. That's how I feel. Old Green Knees said, page 6, bottom right panel. He is talking to someone. Oh, you're talking about... so that is a black transponder snail. That's not necessarily used for communication. It's used for intercepting communications from other pirates. So what this is symbolizing is that the reason that Lucci knows all of this information is because he's been listening to like Nami dishing out these orders. So he knows that where everybody is because he's been hacking into their comms. That's what's happening there. So when you're looking at page 6 at the bottom, that's what he's holding. This is the same type of snail that Smoker used when he was intercepting the call between Sanji and Crocodile. So that's my interpretation of that scene. He's not talking to anybody on the snail. He's revealing how he knows all of that information. Double O Flevin super and said, York's reaction's funny considering how bad she wanted to be a celestial dragon, and Mars is displaying their true form. Peak performance. You may not like it. It is true. It's true. It's definitely like be careful what you ask for situation, that kind of stuff. And that's why I guess I'm interested now more than I have been in terms of what her role is going to be, whether she leaves or doesn't. How long are we going to drag this character through the story? Because I don't think she's interesting, but I am worried that she'll have more screen time than I'd like. Ryo said, where was the thing That confirmed those transponder snails are black. That panel confused me. It's a wrist snail. So even though it's shaded black, it's the fact that it's a wrist snail more than anything that says, oh, this is the black transponder wiretapping snail. Yeah. Now that that's a point of confusion, I'll throw that into the analysis when I do it. Random said Zoro loses to Mars now so that Sanji can boast about beating him in an arc later. I mean, based on the map, it seems like if it's true that Zoro and Jinbe are heading up top, then yeah, they're going to run into Mars. And Sanji is heading for Bonnie's group, which could mean that they're going to run into Ethan. So Sanji could actually get into a fight with Ethan. And Zoro could get into a fight with Mars, and then in the end game they flip opponents. I could see something like that. Because the point is it doesn't look like Mars is a sword fighter. So, and that is like, I think, the parameters for I will never lose again. Because anytime that that Zoro has lost outside of that, like a Nell, is a situation where the person isn't actually a sword fighter. But if they have a sword, then he's got to win. So, Oda is probably going to try and keep Zoro away from Ethan as best as possible. Let's see. My guy Luke said, I'm a fan of the long game theory that Hattori is a devil-free user in disguise this whole time. Look, I'm okay with that. There's also a theory that Stronger, is actually a human as well. Doc Q's horse. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. But I do not like the Hattori as Lafitte thing. Like, that's too wild. Dizza said, did I listen to the Kendrick dissertation yet? Of course I did. They ran back the Ride and Spinners sample. Everybody was talking about these, these other songs, and I guess Logic used the same sample, but all I could think about when I was listening to like that was like, this is just 3-6 Mafia. How's Kendrick gonna try and take out Drake and Cole with the Ride and Spinners beat? But yeah, quick sidebar on that. Double O Flevin supered and said, it'd be wild if Lucci has to overhear Mars not sparing Kaku through his spy snail. Oh, that would be wild. Oh man. It would actually elevate like the Gorosei if they, they catch a body this arc. And if that body is Kaku, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. Kaku dies? But the other thing, you know what the craziest thing about it is, and what makes me so upset, is what happened to Kaku? Like, we don't even know what happened to Kaku. I have no idea what happened to this man because Oda skipped over it in chapter 1089. What happened? And then it's like, are we extending this arc because Oda is going to go back and show what happened to Kaku? So it's like Kaku's going to die, but before he does, we get this flashback and shows that, oh, he actually protected Robin or something in a battle. And, he wasn't that bad of a guy. And then we're all just like, oh, no, he's dead. I mean, I could see Oda doing that, but it's like, even that would be better if it was a situation where we saw it in real time. I don't like these, Tarantino out of order things. Like, go in order. Trust that we'll remember. I don't know. Ugh. Brandon King said Mars really out here like Ivan Drago. Kaku is weak. If he dies, he dies. That sounds like a green screen that I should have and don't. Ryro said Kaku can die here. He isn't needed for further story, but his death would make impact enough. Yeah, I agree. We don't need to continue taking the giraffe boy with us. Vern asked, now that we have this chapter, do you have any theories on how the arc will end? How many chapters we have left? I still feel like we need to be off this island by 11:16. I don't know. I'm still going to hold true to that we're going to be off the island or on Elbaf by 11:16. When you take into consideration everything that happened with the archipelago, like everything was way more dire, and that stuff got wrapped up in like 2 chapters. 3 chapters. That was it. So all we need is everybody, running away, getting off the island, figuring out what's actually going on, and that's it. We're out of here. Stuff is way too intense right now. But then you add a couple of extra elements because of Vegapunk's message. So, but if Oda tries to go back and show us what we missed in between, what happened the day before, Kaku getting hurt, Robin getting hurt, all of that, then we're extending it out. I don't know. Big shout out to One Piece Code for the 20. Appreciate that. Thank you. They said, hey Randy, this is my first super chat. Been watching since the Laws and Sword Theory. Top 3 OP YouTuber for me. Thank you, buddy. Mars mentioned insects. I thought that was Saturn's thing. Emu spoke about bugs once and has that butterfly. Coincidence? So this is just an idea that I think is spread across all of the Gorosei, all of the celestial dragons, to a degree, maybe not the same verbiage, but the same idea. And it's like the celestial dragons, they elevate themselves above other people, right? But Gorosei take it to another degree because they are... It's more in line with the way I'm thinking that they're not even human in the first place. So they're just demons. Humans mean nothing to them. So, it means more coming from Saturn because like he looks like a spider or whatever. So yeah, he would call them insects, but that doesn't mean birds eat insects and worms and stuff like that too. But it's more of just that elevation thing and furthering the fact that they're not actually human. But appreciate you, OPC. Let's get these likes up, people. Catching up. So, I was going through the chapter and I was trying to find different elements of like Buddhism, Hinduism, and all that kind of stuff, because obviously like those are things that are like directly tied to Zoro, and since this chapter is Zoro's birthday and all of that, this might be a stretch, but the scar that Lucci gives kind of has an element of the both the Buddhist and Hindu Om symbol, like the sort of thing that looks like a 3, but then also there's another symbol which I'll put in the analysis and you'll see what I'm talking about. Where I'd say it's the less common symbol has more elements of it, and that's kind of an interesting take. I didn't look up Skilja, so I want to see that. Skilja. What is that? Did Viz not spell it correctly? Because Skilja is not bringing up anything. When I type in Skilja Norse, then it says that it's short for to separate or limit, or to understand. So to understand or to separate. So then, oh, okay. So just like with the Svalin Sun Shield, which the Svalin is the Sun Shield, Oda tells us what Skilja means when he says Skilja split. It just means split, like to separate. Okay. So that's probably going to be the pattern going with Dorian Brogie's attacks, is that they'll say something in Norse, and then there'll be like the English part of it that is what the word means. And it's just, so he's basically just saying split, split. Sun Shield, Sun Shield. Which, if they're always doing attacks together, I guess is kind of almost like an echo. Check out Dizza. If you're savage and you know it like the stream. If you're savage and you know it like the stream. Oh, man. Miles said Dorian Broglie attacking like chai tea and ATM machine. Shout out to the Spider-Verse films there. I see what you're putting down. But yes, exactly. Ronnie said, think I'm gonna start JJK season 2 after this now. I'm so impressionable. I mean, how many people in the chat would want JJK content? How much does that transfer? Do One Piece fans like JJK? Probably still do it on Twitch. I don't know, but I could try it. Jin said Sandworm is missing this chapter. They're not. Jupiter put himself back together, and he is one of the shadows at the end after the nuke. So go back and check that out, Chin. How long ago did season 2 of JJK come out? Like, is it more of like a newer thing, or has it been out for a little bit? Okay, a lot of people showing some JJK love. Ishmael said, happy to be here live. Happy to have you here live. Oh, it finished around the New Year. Okay, so that's kind of still kind of new then. Okay. And done and out for the last 5 months. Okay, so I mean that might transfer to still having some interest. I love how Diz is just hyping himself up in the chat. Oh, that's interesting, Volkazard. He said, I wonder if all 5 will do something punny at some point. Last week, Ethan froze his assets. And this week, Warcury gave a war cry. I see what you did there. I like that. I like that. So what we need is Marcus Mars, aka Marky Mark, needs to start talking about good vibrations. Or I guess he transformed, right? So that's a reference to Mark Wahlberg was in a Transformers movie. No. Jin said, next week, Mars with York will be interesting. Next week? Next week? Don't remind me. This is April 21st, I think. I think that's what... yeah, that's what Viz says. April 21st. Oh my god. It's basically a month. It's basically a month. It's the 24th right now. And then the next chapter comes out April 21st. Like, that doesn't even feel like 3 weeks. That feels like 4 weeks. Another month-long break. Yeah. Which, look, I'm still gonna be pushing content. We'll still have streams. I don't know what's gonna happen next week. Because Chrissy is gonna be busy all weekend. I've got to watch Mars. I don't have a babysitter, so I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to stream next weekend. And if we do, it would probably be like a, I don't know, maybe something on Monday. I gotta figure something out. That'll be the only week where things get weird. The following week will definitely be a Theory for Theory, which I think will be Daksake. And then I'll keep people posted, but you know, I might try and do some other random things during the week. Like, you know, I might do like a watch through of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and then like start doing like a thing where I'm like I go through a bunch of episodes in season 2, and then we'll see if we want to pick up the manga from there. And then if that kind of works, then we can kind of maybe go back to Chainsaw Man. But I'll also be doing One Piece stuff too. There's a bunch of projects and videos that I want to work on and get out. 0011 said eagerly awaiting the references video, even if it's going to be, yeah, the inspiration thing. Yeah, it's just like I've got a bunch of it written, but it's like it's going to be it's a big undertaking. Yvette said, I think the Gorosei are going to face off against the Straw Hats in a final battle. Chopper and Usopp are going to tag team the Sandworm, like their Alabasta Mole Woman battle. I actually mentioned Chopper and Usopp against Jupiter in the last video I did, and specifically that same callback. I wondered if Oda would run that back. I kind of would like something different, but it also could show, it could be if it's their final battle, and then that was like their first like real battle, then it could be like a way of, kind of going back to that. So that's actually, that's pretty interesting. And then I saw, I was looking into more stuff about Marcus, not Marcus, about Ethan. So looking at stuff about Ethan, because we didn't have a lot of stuff into the Bakotsu, but then while I was going down this like Buddhism rabbit hole, I found some very interesting information, right? Which I think everybody's going to also find interesting, is that I think that Ethan is going to be Zoro's final opponent. Like, not Mihawk. Like, I think in order to become the world's greatest swordsman, I think it has to be beating Ethan now. And I was pretty firmly rooted in that, like, Zoro's last battle should be Mihawk. Because it's like he should. But the other thing too is like, I think he probably beats Mihawk before he fights Ethan, is considered the world's strongest swordsman, but then it's like, but wait, there's another, that kind of thing. But the key thing here is that there are 7 mythical creatures in Buddhism, and the horse is one of them. And the little bits about the horse was very interesting. This is like the Bokotso doesn't have a lot for the lore until someone like raids a Japanese library and like gives me some examples. But since everything with Zoro has been, just very Buddhism, very Hinduism, like heavy, the Asura, all that kind of stuff. In Buddhism, the horse is a symbol of energy and effort in practicing the Dharma. The main qualities of a horse are loyalty and swiftness, and the neigh of the horse is symbolic of the Buddha's voice to awaken the sleepy mind to practice the Dharma. Now, we saw Ethan neighing in the last chapter, and I feel like that kind of like is almost like a conqueror's honky like kind of thing there. But it also represents the prana or breath that is essential for our existence. Now, when I read that, the breath that is essential for our existence, where did my mind immediately go there? Went back to the Mr. One fight, the breath of all things, right? This was like a big change in the way that Zoro started learning how to fight. So it's like, will Zoro have to come into terms of a breath that is even deeper? Are we getting into the layers of the underworld here, the Reaper, Asura, all of that? Like, there's some interesting things there. Now, the mythical wind horse is a symbol in Tibetan Buddhism. It combines the speed of the wind and the strength of the horse. What was Ethan doing in the last chapter? He was super speeding across Egghead. Now, so it combines the speed of the wind, the strength of the horse to control the mind and guide it towards liberation. It is often used on prayer flags to carry prayers from heaven to earth. It also bears the wish-fulfilling pearl and represents good fortune to make things go well. Now, the fact that it was that it is a symbol of basically sending a message to the heavens, right? What did Zoro say was like the final part of his dream? Was that when he becomes the world's strongest swordsman, that message will carry to the heavens. So if the Bakotsu is tying not to Japanese folklore, but is actually tying to Buddhist folklore, then by being Ethan, Zoro would become the world's greatest swordsman, and that message would get to Kuina. Am I cooking or am I reaching? Let me know. I'm gonna read everybody's chats here. Soke King Al-Gaib. Ryro said the Mihawk slander won't stop if that happens. I'd still like it better if Mihawk was the final battle, but I don't know. Inya said, yo, you're always spoiling everyone, Randy. Zoro Buddhism goes perfect with Samurai Gandhi Buddhism and his horse. Yeah, the guy looks like Gandhi. Oh, man. Jin says the day Randy is reaching is the day Randy stops cooking. I'm cooking, but Ryro doesn't know if they like the food yet. Oh. Is this it? Put the apron on and play the soundbite? Oh, where did I put it?
Someone cooked here.
So yeah, that's how I feel about Ethan now. And I wish I had looked that up before the previous video, but I'll definitely go into that in this analysis. Here. Brandon said, what if Dory and Bergie sacrificed themselves for Luffy by killing Jupiter? What kicks off the end game is the killing of the blood-soaked snake. You know, I wanted to talk about that because, like, when I saw them taking out Jupiter in the first place, I of course went back to that line of, you know, the blood-soaked snake. But I don't know if they're gonna die here. I don't know. I feel bad. I don't want them to die. Shout out to my goat Ty. Ty, man. Appreciate you. W's in the chat. I want to see W's in the chat, guys. That's Ty asking for W's. Man. Appreciate you, brother. Ty said Jinbe is on par with the Gorosei. That's a tall order. He punched the cat off Lucci.
You loyal.
Like, Warcury shouted the scars off Luffy. That is crazy. That is crazy. But I'm here for it. I'm here for the agenda. Because that's what it looked like to me. That's what it looked like to me.
Do you see this jacket? Pay my taxes. Trust me, you can track it.
The official translation missed a dope quote when one of the elders was talking to Lucci. They redeemed when They redeemed. When the ancient robot said, "Sorry, I'm late, Joy Boy." Oh my god. My man said, Jinbe punched the cat off of Lucci. It's like, I don't know if that's what Oda intended, but that is like what it looks like. He was ready to go and fight them, and then Jinbe does one thing, and he is out of his awakened form and making Zoro look awful. Yeah, no. Appreciate you, Ty. What was the dope quote with the with Mars? Because he was still talking heavy in this chapter. Translations. One does not attempt to step on insects. It simply happens. Start walking in grass. Think about how many insects you just killed just by walking on the grass. You don't even know. You didn't even realize it. It just happened. Red Hood, member for 14 months, said, could we see Lucci swap sides later in the story? I really don't want him to. But if he does, it's this moment. It's this moment that changes it. Because, especially if Kaku dies, then I could see Lucci, like, sacrificing himself for Luffy or, like, against the government or something. And it would make his character better, because Lucci's always been, like, a stiff for me. But he's one of those characters that, like, I don't want to see redeemed. But this chapter laid some interesting groundwork if it happens. But if Oda ever tries to redeem Akainu, I'm going to be mad. Like, I'm not going to like it if it's Lucci, but I'm going to like it even less if it's Akainu.
You loyal.
Vern said, Randy, since YouTube likes to punish non-One Piece content, maybe we bring the second channel around for stuff like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, make it more of a grab bag for manga and anime content. Yeah. I'm thinking I go back to Twitch, and then I put the VODs on the second channel. And then if enough people are watching the VODs on the second channel, then I can start streaming on the second channel with that kind of stuff. And I could potentially, I gotta see how, I don't want to overpromise. But it's like if I did a video on something like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't know. I don't know if I have an angle on a video. You know, I don't know if I have an angle to like do a full analysis on everything I watched. It would be more like just, this was fun. I like this character. I like this thing. I wonder where this will go. Is this person gonna die? Which I guess, you know, I don't know, might still be interesting, but I don't know how, you know, how well that would do. But I mean, some people, you know, I know that a lot of people like videos of people getting into stuff. Obviously, you know, especially One Piece. You know, everybody's enjoying things like, you know, Mark's. Remember Mark's journey of getting into it. Murphy's. Now there's Mom Piece, but I don't know if that translates into the like the Jujutsu Kaisen space, but I don't know. Figure it out.
Savage.
Ty said, nah, TCB did it right. Okay. Ty said, it's hard to single out a lone insect when you're exterminating the hive. Bars. What's up, Savage Crew?
It's about to get spicy.
Yeah. That's a good line. I like Mars. Mars is my favorite Gorosei. Mars got bars. Mars bars. Mars Candy Company. Yeah. Barry said shorts are a good way to quickly grab attention. Yeah, like maybe a short. I feel like I have more than a minute's worth of things to say, but then I guess in multiple shorts. I don't know. I think I have to get into more shorts content anyway. Like if the channel is supposed to succeed or grow or something, I think YouTube is just like, you gotta do shorts. But it's like, it's so tedious. You know, like part of me wants to go back and like find like really good moments from Theory for Theories and things like that and like turn that into shorts and like start putting that kind of stuff on the channel. But it's like, sometimes when you get people cooking and everything, like it goes for longer than a minute. So it's hard to compress all of that. RS, member for 18 months, said, greetings from Tokyo. Thanks for all the great content, Randy. RS. Appreciate you. It's got to be pretty late over there. Imagine I'm going to... Or no. I don't know. Maybe it's like 7 or 8 p.m. there. I'm still on like... maybe like 9, 10... No. I forget. I know the math for the East Coast and Tokyo, but I can't do the West Coast now. I can't. Let's see. Catching up on the chat. Miles said, Randy, how would you rank the One Piece Puma shoes? I like the Blackbeard shoes, the Marshalls. Marshalls are pretty good. I kind of mess with the buggies. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Luffys. I'm not. But I don't like white shoes to begin with. That's me. Some people like it. You know, they want to rock the, you know, the cocainas on their feet. I don't want to be cleaning my shoes all the time. So I strictly stay away from white shoes. I do not buy shoes if they've got even a little bit of white on them, especially on the bottom. That's it. That's something, you know, I used to do years ago, and then I'm like, no. So like I stick to like, it's got to be all one color, you know, all the way around. You know, you get some elements in there, but that's why I like the Marshalls. The Marshalls got, you know, it's like all black. It's got the red accent. That's nice. It's drippy. The buggies, there's no white in there, so it's like, okay, we're just rocking red. We got the elements of the blue. That's cool. The Shanks are all right, but if I was going to get any, I would get the Marshalls first, and then I would get the buggies. Vern put a picture. Is that your dog, Vern? With the straw hat on, and then Brandon put the meme of Mihawk painting his sword and Luffy watching it for tips as he's painting the bat. Miles said that my East Coast is shining through with this wisdom. Good take. Jin knows exactly all of the things I don't like. Barry said it's the way media consumption is moving towards anyway, but it'll pull them into the conversation with some bait. Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know, that's something I just gotta bite the bullet. I just gotta do it. So I don't know. If I really get into it, you guys might get inundated with shorts. But it's like I also want to bring something new to it. Yeah, I get so. I feel like I'm just like rehashing past media. I'd rather do new things, but then it's like, do I have the time? And I have more fun doing long form content, but everybody wants this short attention span stuff. Ah. Vern said that's as good Pupper Bebop. Do you have a Rocksteady or a Cowboy? Nah, Diz, I have not. I've been waiting for like a Nike and One Piece collab. Like I did, what did they do? They did the Adidas collab. Those shoes were trash in my opinion. No offense to anybody that bought them and wore them. I did not like that. This Puma collab is better. But I don't know. I'm probably not actually going to buy any of them. But if they ever did like some One Piece Hirachis or something, then I might be in. Or some One Piece Nike boots. One Piece J's. I'd even be into that. All right. So let's take a look back at this chapter here. See if there's look back in my notes here. Things that I'm really excited that for the prospect of like the weaker side of the crew going up against these vice admirals. Did anybody ever remember the otter guy's name? I forgot to look that up. I know Guillotine, I know Red King, and I just can't remember the otter's name. But I don't know who's going to actually fight who, but I do hope that we do actually see them like scrapping with some vice admirals, because this is a thing that I feel like One Piece needs more of, like fights against the Marines. We've been fighting pirates for so long and other factions that like we really need to go up against some of these guys. And we didn't really have opportunities for that when we were leaving the other Buster Call. You know, it's like they had some quick battles with Barry Good and Shu, of course. But if we got, you know, if we dedicated, like, even if it was just a page to each Vice Admiral fighting one of the Straw Hats, I would feel good, but I would want it to be like a page. You know, like a couple of back and forths, a couple of hits. Oh, it's Pomsky, and he's not the otter guy. Ah, that's, yeah, okay. That's right. He's the guy that I thought looked like Frankie's dad. Conrad said the same thing. A cowboy or a rocksteady. Just checking into some things here. You know, another really interesting thing that I thought of with this chapter is that this is the last time that we're going to have a chapter that'll have a sequential number. Because we're never getting to 22222. That's not going to happen. Volkazard said, it's also interesting that Kizaru basically lost all will to fight. Luffy literally broke this man. I don't think it has anything to do with Luffy, and it has everything to do with what he did to Vegapunk. It's eating at himself. It's you know, we saw Kizaru's reservations when he was still on the boat with Saturn before they both moved onto the island. You know, he was talking about Sentomaru. He's just like, yeah, you know, if I don't have to fight these guys, I prefer it, you know, just saying. And then Saturn's like, you'll do what I tell you to do. And Kizaru's like, yeah, you got it, sir. So after fighting Sentomaru, basically killing Vegapunk, attempting to murder Bonnie, this man is just like, who am I? What am I doing? What am I fighting for? I am not happy with my current life choices. And I would prefer to just sit this one out and act like a toddler pretending to go to sleep so I don't have to go to school. So that's Kizaru's energy right there. It's not that Luffy beat him so bad that he doesn't want to go back and have the fight. It's that his own life choices are eating at him. Mugi said chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 is still to look out for. Oh, that's a good one. That's good. I think we'll get that. I could see us getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it right? I want to at least get to 1, 2, 3, 1. Then everybody's got a birthday chapter. Yeah, we'll get to chapter 2. I'll be in my 70s. Oda will be in his 90s or something. Yeah. Inya, Garling crucified Mjosgard, not Charlos. I do have a theory that Luffy will get captured. It said, isn't today the anniversary of Jesus walking into Jerusalem? The start of his ascent into heaven. I mean, we're pretty close to Easter. It's like, you know, that's next week. So... But I don't think that that's necessarily what he's putting for him. I think it's more about the numbers. There's enough Buddhist imagery and enlightenment stuff in the chapter that isn't, you know, as overt as I thought it was going to be, but it's still there. Kizaru wanted to sit out for the game, but he was close to losing that max contract, so he had to play to get to 65 games. Burns said, I need my birthday chapter. It's so far off, but so close. 12/17, here we come. Yeah, we gotta get further than that so that my boy has a birthday chapter too. Barry said, when your birthday chapter is Sanji related. Smile, smile. Mine was. My birthday chapter was the Sanji versus Queen. Like one of the highlight moments of it. Appreciate you, Oda. So where do we go from here? What's the kind of things that we can expect in the next chapters? I think we have to look at the map to kind of understand that. We're definitely going to get some Vice Admiral versus the weaklings, in quotations up top. Interestingly enough, Oda did not put Zoro and Jinbe in the map. But I'm guessing they're going to fly up using their boots to the top. I don't know. I mean, it really seems implied that they're going to the ship. Or is the ship going to break through the barrier and then they're going to catch onto the ship from there and they're also just running behind Sanji and Vegapunk? Because it seems like they're waiting for them to get there, but also how are they going to get into the dome itself? The dome is supposed to be this protected area. So that's kind of the confusing part to me. Like, where is Jinbe? Where are Jinbe and Zoro? What are they going to do? Sanji is going to run into Bonnie and Frankie and is going to get involved in whatever happens there, whoever shows up, which is probably Ethan. I would prefer if Zoro gets involved in that, because I would rather have Ethan show up, try and kill Bonnie, and then Zoro like has an altercation with Ethan and saves Bonnie from a celestial dragon, the person who stopped Zoro from attacking a celestial dragon in the archipelago. That's the type of inversion that I want. But it doesn't look like he's going in that direction. So, I don't know. Luffy, Dory, and Brogy are making their escape. But that also seems too easy. Like, are they going to get stopped? Something's got to stop them, right? What if Ethan runs into them? Maybe maybe Dory and Brogy do die. Like, they stay back to hold off the Gorosei while Luffy gets away. I don't know if Luffy would actually want that. I don't know if he would do that. I don't know if he would let them do that. But it's like, that's the type of narrative device that we need here. We need a bigger distraction. There's too much going on. Oh, the Iron Giant. The ancient robot's coming. The ancient robot can be that. But then, or is the ancient robot going to take the place of the Vega Force 1 and be the thing that carries the Sunny away? There's too many unknowns. There's too many unknowns. I was able to kind of see where this chapter was going to go from last week, and it's kind of that, but the next chapter, I don't know where it's going to go, and maybe that's why Oda needs a 4-week break, because he doesn't know where it's going to go. Let's see here. Brandon said, what if the Gorosei embody a different religion? Emu's Christianity, Mercury is Buddhist, Peter's Jewish. That's on the nose. Mars is Zoroastrian. I mean, that one I buy because it's literally that icon. And Venus is Shintoism. It could be Shinto, but I would say Venus is the Buddhist one. What about Mercury makes you think that he's the Buddhist one? Mercury is based off of Gorbachev, so he would be tied more to like the Russian culture, if I had to guess anything. Like he's got the same like scar. He's exactly a prototype of Gorbachev. So. My guy Lucas Martin said Gorosei gonna kill the transmission and the robot is gonna give the crew the lowdown. You think the robot is gonna download? Well, the robot can speak, and the robot was there, so the robot would know. That's interesting, actually. I didn't start thinking about that, but that's a good take. What is giving the robot sentience? I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess they were way more advanced 900 years ago, right? So the technology existed. It's all very interesting. I just, we got to see how how all of this comes together. Shout out to Baby Pluto N with the super chat. Appreciate you. Said Mars stops the message, but the Iron Giant relays the intended message through sheer coincidence. I hope the apology also sheds light into what Zunisha is serving the punishment for. Savage. It'd be kind of crazy if Mars does stop the message. I would be pretty disappointed if the message does stop before it gets out its intended effect. So it's like, at the very least, everybody tuning in to the message, even if it gets cut off, needs to understand that there is something that the government is hiding from them. Like, it has to pique their curiosity enough to rise against the government. They may not get the whole truth or the whole message right now, but it needs to be, something needs to happen. And then it's also just like, we have 6 minutes left. What are we going to do for 6 minutes? Oda needs to kind of like speed through these 6 minutes a little bit. I guess if, you know, I mean, I'd like it if those 6 minutes were Nami, Usopp, Chopper, Robin, Brook, and Lilith fighting some Vice Admirals. That's good, Chin. Chin said Elbaf is very old. Maybe when Brogy and Dory see the Iron Giant, they will know something. Well, considering that they are 160 years old, and the ancient robot was scaled Marijoa 200 years ago, that's only 40 years before they were born, so they would have heard stories about that. I'm just, you know, I'm just excited for when we get that Void Century flashback, and it's like Dory and Brogy's grandparents are involved, you know, and then we, you know, we go back 200 years or something, and we start seeing stuff from their parents. Leonardo Martin, so who will stop Mars, or is the transmission coming from somewhere? Yeah, I mean, something has to happen to Mars also that allows the transmission to continue. Someone's got to stall them. I wanted it to be Sanji, but Sanji's heading towards Bonnie. Maybe Mars will get distracted by the ancient robot? Alejandro said, have you heard the theory that the transmissions would drag in, and when they destroy Egghead, the transmission will continue? Yeah, I think Par and I were talking about in our theory for theory about that. I was talking about it at some point. I like that because it gives a story reason for the conversation between Shaka and Dragon at the beginning of the arc. So it's like, I think I'm going to die soon. My dead man switch is this message, but, you know, I need somewhere to relay it. And then it also gives a reason for Dragon to think back to that particular message as everybody else is watching it. Double F11 said, 6 minutes, Slim Shady. You're on. And L flies in. Just in time. Lubu kill you. Superden said, Memo will be used on Zunisha. It works so well. I just want the Memo to be used. It's such a broken ability. It's one of my favorite powers that Oda introduced, and the way that he has utilized it in the story is garbage. You know, the kiss thing was cute, but it's also like, let our boy have a win. But the thing with Reiju was stupid, and it's just like there hasn't been a story relevant purpose for putting to have that fruit. I thought it would be something that tied, Big Mom to the memories of eating those kids and something like that. Like that would have made the fruit worth it. But here we need something like that, getting the memories out of Zunisha, getting the memories out of the ancient robot, getting memories out of Vegapunk. I don't know, but it's like it's Blackbeard kidnapping Pudding has to be more than just the fact that she's a third-eyed tribe. Her fruit is very potent. Luke wants big news and Vivi to get involved in the message. I want that too. So, hey. Leonardo Martins thinks Blackbeard will see Garp's memories of God Valley. I've seen that brought up a lot. It's okay. I think we could do it now because I do buy the fact that we didn't see a lot of God Valley because the Gorosei were probably involved and Oda did not want to give up the game on their transformations too early. Okay, Brandon is putting the tinfoil hat on. What if the robot has Lily's soul? Emu took her body, put her soul in the robot. She's apologizing for her blunder. Star Wars, save us, Joy Boy. You're our only hope moment. Let's get into the sci-fi-isms of everything. Hey, look, we've seen crazier things in One Piece, right? Ronnie Williams said next chapter they replace Kid with Magneto from X-Men 97. Well, I mean, Magneto and X-Men 97 and just generally X-Men is what everybody wanted from Kid, and we did not get that. We got Diet Magneto. We got Magneto Light. Alejandro Salas still can't believe Big Mom left her Third Eye Tribe husband and didn't use him to read the poneglyphs. Well, he probably was a weak man. Couldn't awaken it. Couldn't figure it out. But Blackbeard will figure it out. Coerce Pudding to be able to do it. Utilize Lafitte's hypnotism in some way. Siren powers of some sort. Which, by the way, everybody watch X-Men 97. That's great. It's fantastic. I was tearing up watching it. Like, the nostalgia hit me. Like, right from the get-go. When the theme song started playing and they, like, had the redone animation of it. So good. Double O Flippin said, Prime Linlin would have got those eyes to open. Maybe. But it wasn't Prime Linlin. What day does it air? The first 2 episodes are out. And I think it's Wednesdays. Wednesdays, there's more X-Men stuff. It's just like, I don't know, there's so much wasted potential in the MCU. Like, I don't know what is going on with the rights to everything, where they can't, even though they own Fox, they like still can't make X-Men movies or something. It's probably some situation where if they make an X-Men movie, somebody that they don't want to pay is gonna have to get paid, because it isn't, you know, they have some sort of contractual thing where any X-Men movie that gets made 5 years after Apocalypse, or, you know, what was the last one? I think that was the last one. Dark Phoenix, something. I don't know. Some of those things say 5 to 10 years later, like somebody's still getting paid, and they're just like, well, we don't want to share these profits with them. And if they make the movie, then that, like, it reignites that sort of a contract or something, so then they would still continue to get paid. So they're just waiting for that to time out. Those are the weird things that happen in Hollywood, and I think that's why we're not getting X-Men movies. New Mutants, I don't think matters, because it was so separate. It probably is like the timeline thing probably still works for that, but those are all like E-list mutants that they probably wouldn't use anyway, and you won't see them until they actually bring them back later. Do I think that Oda's a fan of X-Men? Probably. He's a fan of pretty much everything. Luke said, I want to see, but I don't want to give Disney any more money, especially since Marvel moved production overseas. I mean, I have to have Disney Plus, because it's like, it's one of Mars's favorite things. But all production is moving overseas, so it's terrible. It's terrible. Everything that's happening in the film industry, like, we just had these strikes and everything, and then what was the result and the response of the strikes? Okay, well, IATSE is probably going to strike, so we're just going to take everything and move it overseas. Like, there is literally, I think, there's some movie, I don't remember what it is, being shot in South Africa that is supposed to take place in Los Angeles. So they're just building a set of Los Angeles somewhere in South Africa. That's the type of movie that should not be shot overseas, but they don't want to pay crew in America. There's no unions over there, so they're saving money, so they're sending all this stuff overseas. But the thing, there used to be, I mean, I don't know what Marvel's thing is now, but in Atlanta, they had Pinewood Studios. They had to pay, it was something where they had to shoot, like, I think 60%. I don't remember what the percentages are. They had to shoot 60% of it in Atlanta to get the tax credit. 60 or 70%, and then like 30 to 40% could be shot overseas. And they did do that with every Marvel movie. If you go and you watch it, it's just like they're, doing all this stage shooting for a while, and then out of nowhere, they'll be in Berlin or something. And it's like, that's where they were somehow saving money and trying to make it seem bigger than it is, but it's really all about money. And if they're doing everything overseas now, well, I think they've been doing a lot of London stuff for the MCU, which also has a Pinewood studio. So what they probably did is just moved all of their stuff between Pinewood. That's what they did. Yeah, I just figured it out. Brandon, don't know if you follow stuff on Inside Television, but I watched the first 2 episodes of the documentary about Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. It's wild. Good watch, very heavy. I've been seeing a bunch of TikToks about the stuff. This is stuff that's been known for a while now. Chrissy watched this stuff. I haven't gotten to it. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't need to see it. It's awful. The fact that, like, it seems like statute of limitations are preventing anything from happening to these people is just insane. Jin said, Randy, I hope it's not affecting your job too. kinda. Not gonna get into the specifics, but Vern said, Randy, do you think Wapple will be the one to reveal the Gorosei to the world? Maybe he sees the monsters on Egghead and spills the beans on accident. I would love that, because it makes bringing Wapple back into the story really interesting. Because I think Wapple in the manga is not that great of a character. Like during Drum and all of that. His fight with Luffy is not very interesting. What he represents is interesting. This idea of a tyrannical king, like the themes behind it, the thematic elements of Wapple work really well. The execution, not Oda's best, but bringing him back is a way to kind of like it's a surprising character to make return, and that's what's interesting to me. I always like when side characters get ballooned. You know, it's like when you look at, canon or not, Film Red. Right, Bluno, and how big of a role Bluno had. Like, that stuff, I eat that up. I love it. I love it when like a character that is just super random becomes a main character almost for like no reason at all. So if that happens to Wapple, I'm all on board. But let's see. Chin said Oda chose Wapple of all characters from the River to pair with Vivi. Hey, I still want Vivi to get that clap back for that slap. Vivi's got to slap him. Vivi's got to slap Wapple. Can't that aggression will not stand, man. He's got to do something that she just slaps him. Need it. Let's see. Chin said, "I sincerely hope Alec Baldwin gets the charges he deserves." That's a very tricky topic, Chin. Is Alec Baldwin at fault for what happened? It's a very tragic and terrible thing that happened. My stance on it is that as a producer, yes, he is partly responsible. But he is not the person most responsible for that. Even though he pulled that trigger. And it seems counterintuitive to say, like, you hold gun, you fire gun, person dies, you're at fault. Yes. But when you're on a film set, and this is like specifically the department that I worked in for many years, the assistant director is responsible for safety on set. So you hold a little bit of a safety meeting. So it's a threefold thing. You have the armorer, you have the first assistant director, and then you have the person that fires the gun. And the two people that are actually the most responsible, from my opinion as a film professional, is actually the armorer and the first assistant director. The armorer is the person who hands the gun to the first AD to do a check, a safety check. So you take that gun, you open it up, you make sure there's no bullets in it, right? This is what the armorer does. Then they hand it to the first assistant director. That person opens the gun, makes sure there's no bullets, does a little dry fire, make sure that there's nothing that's going to happen there. This is in front of a group of people in a circle. This is how it happens on a film set. Then it seems very regimented. It seems, very stoic and all that. And it's like kind of those things when you're on set, it's just like, okay, yeah, we got to just do this. Okay. So it's just hand the gun, nothing's in there, nothing's in there, nothing's in there. Hand it to the actor. They know that they're being handed a gun. Alec Baldwin is someone that has been on so many big sets, and he's been around these types of things where this happens. What he's working on is an indie movie. And what do? They skip this process. Alec Baldwin gets handed a gun. He thinks it's empty because it went through the armor, went through the first AD, then it landed to him. He's not wearing his producer hat at that particular moment. So he's not going to check the gun because he's trusting in the individuals that are handing it to him. He fires this gun, someone dies because there's a bullet in it. It's tragic. It's terrible. It's not entirely his fault in the scope of the film industry. So the bullet should have never been in the gun, and there were two people that should have been able to figure that out beforehand. So if you've been following this whole thing with that situation where Alec Baldwin, is responsible for a director of photography's death, that's kind of how that goes. And a modern jury isn't going to understand how that is because they probably don't work on a film set. And if they do work on a film set, they may be considered biased and not be used for that jury. So, yeah. My guy Luke, he works in the film industry. He said that armor should never work again. I agree. I absolutely agree. It's like what happened in Georgia in 2013, 2014 with Sarah Jones. Those people also should never work again for what happened to her. So let's see. So, random sidebar. Sorry, guys. A lot of film industry talk today. But, yeah. Vern said, I still believe that Enel has the ship that goes with Uranus, just not the conduit and the beasts for it. Interesting. You think the Maxim has something to do with Uranus? I could see it being like a recreation, an homage, something he had seen, something that the Birkins knew about, or whatever, so that he was trying to build something in the image of what it is, but it's not actually it. I could see something like that. Jen said, so Iron Giant confirmed powered by Gear 5? Probably. I mean, when did it wake up? When Luffy went Gear 5, right? So that's that. There's a lot of answers that we need. I think I'm going to start wrapping things up here, guys. I gotta shoot and edit this analysis so that I can get it out by tomorrow, and then work on some other new things for you guys. I am highly considering some JJK content, and we'll figure out whether that's gonna be on the second channel or more likely it'll be on Twitch. The only thing is that I have to use Crunchyroll, which means that I can't show the image of what I'm watching because Crunchyroll blacks everything out. I don't know. I gotta figure out how people like bypass that or something. I don't know. So, I don't know. If you're not following the Twitch, twitch.tv/Randy Troy, and then we'll take the content from that and post it on the second channel afterwards. Or here for members. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. It's all new. But I liked season 1, so it's something fun to talk about with everybody. Get us through these 3 weeks. Anyway, I appreciate everybody for coming in. I don't know what we're gonna do next weekend, but we will have content on probably like a weekday to make up for that. And then the following weekend will definitely be a theory for theory. We'll figure out what the weekend after that is as we start moving through everything. And then sprinkled throughout the week, watch out in the Discord and community posts for updates on what the alternative content will be. All right. And thanks everybody for coming through. Like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Had fun today, guys. Even if we, it is fun to get off topic every once in a while. Yeah. Kip said, watch season 2. I am going to watch season 2. I'm absolutely going to watch season 2. That's what I'm talking about. So probably watch it over on Twitch. Yeah. See you soon. Check out the analysis. It'll be a more compressed version. It'll be very heavily about this, like Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Norse stuff. And remember to like and leave comments, because that's the only way people see the content. And then it's also the way that YouTube says you like the content, and then they continue to send you the notifications. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, I didn't even know you were still making content. I don't get any notifications. And that's like a weird thing that YouTube does. So. But people have been saying they've been getting their notifications now more regularly, which is cool. So, thanks again, everybody. Talk soon.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.